Well, good morning. One of the most famous movie lines of all time came at the end of the film Gone with the Wind, starring Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh, playing the roles of Rhett Butler and Scarlett O'Hara. Scarlett asks Rhett, "Where shall I go? What shall I do?" He replied, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn." The title for today's video is The High Cost of Ignoring What's Wrong. Frankly, my dear, I do give a damn. I'm really tired of these people that go around with their BS dogma that if we only focus on what we want, what we don't want will go away. Yeah, right. Get a flat tire and ignore it. Will it go away? Your toaster catches on fire. If you ignore it, will it stop burning? If you get a serious injury and ignore it, will it heal? Answers to these rhetorical questions are obvious. Yet we have people buying into and trying to sell us on the idea that if we only focus on the good stuff, the bad stuff will disappear. Who benefits from such a teaching? Here's how I see it. There are insane people running our world and conspiring, yes, to keep their sick games going. The truth is, they need people to remain ignorant in order to keep getting away with their criminality. Do you get it yet? They are the most wounded among us, and unconsciously, they are crying out for love. Ignoring them and allowing them to keep on hurting themselves and others is not very loving. Therefore, it is the people that buy into this PMA, positive mental attitude, bullshit. I have it just BS, but I'll say the word, that are most responsible for exacerbating the problem. You are not helping by being willfully ignorant. You are part of the problem and are making no contribution whatsoever to the solution. This illusion is very real human experience that affects all of life, our life. I decided yesterday that this would be the topic of today when yet another person made the comment, "I don't care what the psychopaths do. I don't even want to consider the fact that there are psychopaths." Well, let me tell you something, folks. There are. They are the insane people that run our financial institutions, that have co-opted our governments, that have co-opted the corporations. Of course, corporations themselves. The whole concept of a corporation as it exists in our world is an evil entity. It is an entity that is created for the express purpose of allowing its owners to escape responsibility and avoid accountability for their actions. That is in itself an evil rule. And the laws have been created to allow that game to go on so that everything in our world has become a corporation, including you and me as human beings. We are considered corporations. What's a corporation? It's a legal fiction. It's something created on paper to take the place of reality, but it can and only ever will be a lie. It is a fraud. And the whole world is based on fraud. Now you tell me, Ron, I don't care because I have a God that doesn't see the illusion. He only sees what's real. He doesn't see what isn't real. Well, then you better get a new God or define the God that you have a little bit differently, because the God that we have is in me and is in you, and we are one, and we have turned our heads away. Jesus told the story of the Good Samaritan. Now, why was the Good Samaritan good? Well, here's the story. This person was come upon by robbers and thieves, and he was pummeled, and his goods were taken from him, and he was left wounded and bleeding beside the road. Okay? There's the story. A human being defrauded of his property, beat up, and left alongside of the road to die. Priests came along. This is like a lot of you New Age people, a lot of you New Thought people that only want to focus on the good, that buy into the Abraham and Course in Miracles bullshit, that God only looks at good things and he doesn't see the bad things. Here were the people that had that attitude, walking by and saying, sticking up their nose, well, look at what his karma brought him. Well, sorry for you, buddy, but it ain't my problem. And then the Samaritan comes along. Now, bear in mind, when Jesus is telling this story, he's telling it in Judea or in Galilee. And who were the Samaritans? They were the despised people. They were the heathen. They were the people that were the lowest in the caste system on the totem pole. They were not the people that were held in any esteem. But a Samaritan came by and saw the wounded man. And he took him into town. And he bought him a room. And he left money to cover the expenses of getting his wounds treated and getting back on his feet again. And Jesus said, that's the story I want you to get. Are you going to be the Good Samaritan, or are you going to be one of the priests that put your nose in the air and say, it's not my problem? And then Jesus told the story about the Good Shepherd. 99 of his sheep were in the sheepfold, but one had gone astray. And that one that went astray was crying for love. And the Good Shepherd heard the cry of the lost one's heart. This is the psychopath. This is the person that you think is beyond repair, crying for love. And you present a God that can't hear the cry. You present a God that doesn't care. Well, frankly, my dear, I do care. I do give a damn. I do hear the cry of those that are wounded and those that hurt. And I do hold the whole world in my hands and weep real tears, because I realize all the people in Gaza that are getting their homes destroyed and getting their lives taken away and getting their livelihoods uprooted, and they are multiplied across the planet in every place where there's war, in every place where these bankers, these criminal people that have bought our system and have created a conspiracy that is so huge and so enormous that people don't even want to look at it. They feel helpless against it. And so they turn their head and say, I don't give a damn where you go or what you do, Scarlett. I don't give a damn that you're hurting. I don't give a damn that the robbers robbed you. I don't give a damn that your home is not what it used to be. I don't give a damn that you can't live in peace. Well, it's time that we start giving a damn. Thank you very much. It's time that we start paying attention to the very things that we've been taught in our damned religions, and they are damned religions, that it's all an illusion and it doesn't matter because it's all karma and everybody gets what's theirs anyway. Well, that may be true at some level, but at the level that we're living in, the human level, the physical level, the level of the illusion, if you will, this is the level where we live, where the rubber meets the road, where we get flat tires, where toasters do ignite and start burning and will burn down houses if not attended to. This is the place where we get wounded and even killed. Do you care? Or do you have a God that gives you permission not to care? Do you have a concept of a deity that is, oh man, I'm so cool. I don't pay attention to that stuff. I can't even see it. Is that your God? Is that the kind of God that you want? The kind of God that takes no responsibility, that's apathetic like you want to be? Well, look, I've got an apathy in me too. I have the same tendency in me too. I want to stay in my comfort zone just like you. But are we going to change the world if that's all we do? Stay in our comfort zone? There is no comfort when all of the underworld is coming to the surface, and where we have executive orders being signed by the President of the United States that allows incarceration with no charges, no trial. Where did the rights of human beings go? And we say, well, they might just use that on the real criminals. Well, the real criminals are bankers that wear suits and ties and live in ivory towers and mansions and have all the money they could ever dream possible. And they control the whole freaking world. Don't you care? This is 2012. We're on the verge of December 2012. This is when we're supposed to all turn it around and change the system. But how are we going to change it when we've got all these apathetic people making excuses and giving reasons why God doesn't care? And because their image of God is that he can't see evil, he can't look on that which is broken. He only sees the wholeness. I know that. There's truth in that. But there's also truth. Here's the paradox. There's also truth that he is touched with the feeling of our infirmities, as the Bible teaches. He was in all ways, Christ was, tempted like we are. Always. He suffered the same things that we have to deal with in our day-to-day lives. And many of us are too comfortable to care, too comfortable to pay attention, too apathetic to give a damn. Well, it's time we get off this thing. There's a high cost of ignoring what's going wrong. And that high cost will come in the form of calamity. It will come in the form of cataclysm if we don't wake up and open our eyes, and more important, open the eyes of our heart and open the ears of our heart so that we can hear the cry of those crying out for love. The psychopaths, yes. It's our job, if we can see, to surround them with love and to remind them that they've never been disconnected from God. They've never been separate. That's all an illusion created in the mind of man to experience what it's like if there was no God that loves us unconditionally, that there is no creator that cares. What would the world be like? Well, we've created it. Here's what it would be like, folks. Wars and rumors of wars. People's homes being stolen. People being robbed by the richest people on the planet. And other people getting jobs with these richest people and taking other people's homes, taking their property. This is real, and it's going on in our world all over the planet. People are being dispossessed. Their security is being threatened. Everything that is peaceable and lovable and compassionate is being removed. Why? So that we can wake up and see. This is our responsibility. We are accountable. This is our planet. We were left in charge. And what are we doing with it? We're turning a blind eye to the criminals. Jesus went into the temple and he saw the bankers and the money changers there. And he got royally pissed off. Really, really angry. And here's a master that we hold up on a pedestal. And we say, I want to be like Jesus. What would Jesus do? Well, Jesus got in there with a whip and he drove them out of the temple. He says, my Father's house is supposed to be a house of prayer, and you have made it a den of thieves. Read the book. Read the book. Masters are not people that sit idly by and sing Kumbaya while the world is burning, while the world is going to hell, while people are hurting, while people are sick and dying and hungry and thirsty for water that's pure. And we've got people that are putting poison in our water on purpose, and poisoning our food on purpose, and poisoning our medications on purpose. What are you going to do about it? You're going to say, I don't believe in conspiracies? Well, it's time you wake up and look at the world we're living in and get off this apathetic bullshit story that what we focus on expands. Bullshit! What we ignore will keep on expanding until we bring love into that situation, until we shine light into that darkness, and until we stop embracing our ignorance and embrace the truth that will set us free. You can tell I'm a little bit passionate. You say, Ron, you're angry. Yeah, I'm angry at myself. I'm angry at the world that I live in. I'm angry at my friends that keep pushing this crap of an idea that Abraham and Esther Hicks teaches. And don't get me wrong, the Course in Miracles and Esther Hicks has good stuff in it. I'm not saying it doesn't. But I'm saying get the whole picture and stop buying into the crap that you can't focus on what's wrong because you'll get more of it, because that's a lie. That's a lie, and that's part of the matrix. And it's the part that entraps us. And it's a high cost. We pay a high cost of ignoring what's wrong and of ignoring the problem and turning our head away from where the cry for help is really coming and where the help is really needed. We pay a high cost collectively. It's time we wake up. Thank you for listening. Namaste. Namaste.